Pleased to be joined now by the one, the only, the legendary, internationally famous, and newest member of the Dallas Cowboys. 6th round draft choice out of South Carolina. It is corner safety. A lot of people want to know Israel Mukuamu. Israel, thanks so much for taking the time to join Blogging the Boys.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So we're talking, we'll let everybody know, it's about Sunday at 2:00 Central Time. I don't even think it's been 24 hours at this point since you've been drafted. What has your life been like since you got the call from Jerry Jones, Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, and everybody?
I mean, it's just been a surreal moment. You know, my family, my friends, coaches, cousins, all that, just excited about me and my dream coming true. So it's been a great 17 hours.
People are so excited about you, and you really have a great energy. And that's, this is the time where every Cowboys fan is Googling you, right? And looking up all your highlights and finding out what they can about you. What's something where we've got your information up on the screen here for those of us that are, or those that are watching us, 6'4", 212. I want to get into that, but what's something people don't know? Just give us a fun fact about Israel. Like maybe it's your favorite TV show, a food you like to eat, like something that you haven't told anybody yet.
I mean, probably I would say playing Madden. You know, I just love playing Madden. I'm a chill guy, so I just love getting on the game and playing Madden.
So I like to ask this question to incoming rookies. Say you're playing one of your cousins, right? Your cousin says, Israel, I'm going to use the Cowboys. You've got to use somebody else, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And say you're using the Seahawks, right? And say you throw a pick to you. Like you pick yourself off, right? Are you letting yourself score on Madden, or are you going to tackle yourself?
I'm gonna for sure let myself probably score. I mean, it depends if we got money on the game or not. If we got money on the game, I got to tackle myself.
Okay.
I love winning, but if it ain't no money now, I'll just let them score.
Okay, so let me ask you then, if you're using Madden or if you're real life, if you're Dan Quinn, people do want to know, corner, safety, how do you view yourself? And I'm sure you've seen, obviously, the draft class that you're a part of, the height, you're 6'4", correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that is something that Dan Quinn seemingly really wants in his DBs. How do you view your game fitting with the Dallas Cowboys?
I view my game as just a versatile player. You know, I'm going to go in there, and whatever they ask of me, that's what I'm going to do, whether it's corner or safety. I mean, the goal is to play on the field, so that's what I want to do. I want to just get out there and be able to contribute to the team early.
So we're looking at your measurables, and you can, I don't know if you can see them on, it seems like you're on your phone, but I know it's a tiny screen, but
oh, yeah.
your wingspan is something that people are really, really excited about. Your physical mold is obviously God-given, but what goes into who you are athletically? I mean, where has all this come from for you? What has life been like as an athlete for you? I mean, when did you first realize that athletically you were gifted in this way? I mean, was it your sophomore year of high school? Like, what's your path been like to getting to the NFL?
You know, actually, it's been since I was 7 years old. My older brother, Sergio Mukuamu, he had my second older brother, Joseph Mukuamu, playing against guys in the neighborhood when we was little, around 6 years old, and we was beating guys 2-on-2 backyard football. And then one day he said, "I'm gonna go take you to a rec team," and then from then on, it's just been a blessing just being able to play. I started out playing running back, and from then on, as I grew up and got taller, I moved to receiver. And then one day I was just like, I'm gonna go play DB. And ever since then, it's just been awesome. Just because, you know, I got great ball skills, so I was able to just pan out pretty well.
What do you like about playing DB?
You know, just the competitive nature, that one-on-one, that pressure. You know, a lot of people don't understand unless you play DB that it's really the hardest position in the game. You know, you guarding a guy just as athletic, if not better, and you don't know where he's going. So just being able to get in the guy's face and understand that it's me versus you, and I'm going to win every time. And then just making plays on the ball and getting excited.
What's the South Carolina Brotherhood like? Because looking back through your social media, I'm sure you seem like a really tech savvy person. I'm sure you read a lot of mock drafts, or at least had a lot of people, maybe teammates, talking about mock drafts. A lot of people thought J.C. Horn would wind up with the Cowboys. And I saw you were really pumped about him obviously staying in Carolina, going to the Panthers. So what has that been like to see all your teammates get drafted and you, and to find out? I'm sure it's kind of like when you graduated high school and you're going to different colleges, like it's finding out like who's going to be wearing what uniform. Like, do you guys have like a group text going on? Like, what's that energy like?
I mean, we don't really got a group text going on, but I mean, we always reach out to each other. I mean, we very close, and we just watch from a distance. I mean, like you said, the guys that got drafted. I mean, I seen the work that they put in. I seen JC put in work. I seen Ernest put in work. I seen Shaw put in work. So it's just a blessing that all of our dreams came true. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us. So I'm excited about their future. JC and Shaw, they're gonna play together again. So that'll be fun. And then Ernest out there in LA. So it's exciting. I'm just happy for all of them.
I don't know if you know this. I'm sure you do, but a lot of people have made the connection between your head coach, Will Muschamp, and Dan Quinn. Obviously, go back a ways. Is that something that you think played a role? Has Will Muschamp told you, is that something that you think was a key, or is it just coincidence in you winding up with the Cowboys?
The crazy thing is, Coach T-Rob, my defensive coordinator and DB's coach, he actually played a role too. The crazy thing is, I remember my freshman year, I came into South Carolina, and T-Rob, he was actually texting. I can't remember if he was texting or if he was on the phone with Dan Quinn, but he was like, in a couple of years, you gonna wish you had this player. He's gonna be a great player. And then now just seeing all that unfold is crazy. And I think it did play a role because they all pretty close. They're all defensive-minded coaches. We kind of ran the same similarities as defense. So I think that played a role because, I understand the defense very well, and I think they think I'm going to pick up very quick on it. So I think that played a role.
Have you spoken to Dan Quinn yet at this point? How'd it go?
Yeah, I've spoken to him after Pro Day when I worked out. He said he loved my workout. And then just yesterday after I got drafted, he called me and just wanted to congratulate me, and he told me he can't wait for me to get out there and get to work. So I'm just excited about this whole process.
So I know it really hasn't been long, but has anybody else reached out to you? Any other players, at this point, Cowboys players, your new teammates, or has it just, maybe you haven't even had a chance to check it because you've just been so busy dealing with a million things right now?
A couple guys reached out to me. Coach Quinn, he had a group chat with all the guys, defensive guys that got drafted, so we was able to introduce ourselves.
That's a lot of guys, by the way. That's exactly, a lot of guys.
It's a lot of guys, but I feel like we got a great draft class coming in, and I just can't wait to meet those guys and get to work.
This is a question that a lot of people care about. In about a week, every NFL team will announce the jersey numbers that the rookie class is going to wear. You have worn an awesome number for a DB. 24 is maybe the best number. And I'm sure you've seen the NFL has relaxed rules on what players can wear. I don't know if you want to wear a single digit number, but what number do you want to wear? Do you want to stick with 24? It is technically available for the Cowboys right now, but well, Chidobe Awuzie wore it, and he left for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I don't think anybody has taken it yet. And so obviously, there's a lot that has to happen. But so if 24 is available, is that your number one choice? If it's not, do you want to go somewhere else? Like, what do you think? This is very important information, Israel.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was just talking about it with my family, and then, so we just trying to figure it out and see what happens. But I think if 24 is open, I most likely might take it. But if it's not, then I think I might go to a single digit number. I'm just trying to see what numbers is open, and then once I get down there and whoever has first dibs on numbers, whatever number is left, I'll decide between the numbers that's left.
So, what'd you eat for dinner on Saturday night? What was the celebration like?
The celebration was crazy. I had my little league coaches at the house. I had
That's
my
awesome.
cousins, my aunties. So it was just a relief. They had my mom and my aunties and my cousin. They had a lot of food out there. I'm actually African, so we had a lot of African dishes out there, and it was just fun. We had a party, we danced. So it was just all a blessing. All glory to God.
So a few years ago, I interviewed Jake Fromm at the Super Bowl, the year he was coming out into the draft himself. And Jake Fromm, I imagine, is not your biggest fan, just because you one of your best games came against Jake Fromm. And so I'm curious if a Cowboys fan wants to catch up on you and they're saying, okay, Israel, what games should I go watch? What games are you really proud of during your time at South Carolina?
Definitely proud of that game. I'm proud of the Florida game last year, the Florida game this year. The Texas A&M game last year, Texas A&M game this year. I felt like I had a lot of good games. I feel like a lot of people get the misconception of me just having one good game at South Carolina just because it was a great game. You know, you can't catch 3 picks every game, so
Right.
I feel like people have that misconception. But I feel like I played very solid throughout my whole career at South Carolina.
That's a great word, though, misconception, because that happens, as I'm sure you've learned through a draft process, is people poke at little details and they say, this guy can't do that. This guy does this really well. This is the only thing he does. What are the misconceptions about you? Like, what do you want people to know? Like, that's not true. You know, again, 3 interceptions in a game is incredible. If you pulled that off throughout your career, I mean, obviously that'd be amazing, but that isn't sustainable. Like, even, you know, people harp so much on interception numbers for DBs, but like, that's not like, I don't think, your goal. I mean, you know, your goal is to eliminate passes. Like, whether you're intercepting things or not is a whole different conversation. But what are the misconceptions about your game that you've seen people on the internet talk about?
Just that I'm big. I can't move my hips very well. I got slow feet. Just the narrative because I'm so big, you know. And the crazy thing is, the college coaches I had, Coach Muschamp and Coach T-Rob, they've seen great DBs. You know, they coach great DBs. So if I couldn't move and stuff like that, they're not going to put me out there and play for them and hope that I go out there and help them win games. So I feel like that's a misconception. T-Rob and Coach Muschamp, they got a lot of DBs in the league. They produce a lot of DBs, and they seen me grow. They seen me in practice. So I feel like a lot of people get the misconception that, oh, I'm big and I'm slow. But me, I'm different. So you got to see me in person. You know, I feel like the eye in the sky do lie. When you see me in person, you see the way I move compared to other guys my size, you'll know that I'm very different. So I'm just excited about my whole future and how I'm going to pan out.
Now, DBs come in all shapes and sizes, as you know. I mean, you've been around a lot of guys, obviously, to this point in your career. Like I said when we first started talking, this does seem to be a focus of Dan Quinn's. You look at, obviously, your fellow draft mates, and you mentioned the group text that he started. That's cool that Dan Quinn knows how to group text, by the way. So nice for people to know that. What does that say to you? That it's all about, and I'm not at all saying like, oh, all they care about is that you guys are tall, but that this is a specific quality. So I guess my question is, how do you think your height and your length and your wingspan translate? How do those things make you a better corner than somebody who doesn't obviously have those traits?
Well, first and foremost, I think it comes down to the scheme. Dan Quinn, he was the DC at the Seahawks when they was doing very well, right, when they had the Legion of Boom. And they had length. So it's just about the scheme that he brings in, and the scheme that works is the bigger guys, the bigger DBs. So I feel like we're gonna get down there and he's gonna develop all of us, and you know we're gonna hopefully bring Dallas to Super Bowl.
Who are some of your favorite NFL corners? Because a lot of people since the draft now, and again, it's barely been any time, but they're comparing you guys to, again, physically, Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner, the classic Seahawks days that obviously Dan Quinn oversaw. Are those some of your favorite corners that you've watched when you've been growing up? Like, who are your guys? Who did you want to be unmet?
Definitely Stefan Gilmore from my school, South Carolina. I like to watch him a lot. He has great man-to-man technique. I love to watch Richard Sherman because he's big just like me. He's been doubted his whole life, but he stepped up to the plate all the time. I also like Jalen Ramsey. He got that dog in him. He's pretty long. And also Antonio Cromartie, too. He's pretty big and he's pretty long. So I like those guys.
Antonio Cromartie's throwing it back a little bit. You had to be like 10 years old when Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah, definitely. That was when him and Revis was there when they were in their prime.
Right on. So I'm curious, just kind of doing more research on you, and you're wearing a shirt right now that says it, whatever it takes. This is your brand, your personal brand?
Yes, sir. It's called the Mukuamu brand, and then our slogan is whatever it takes.
Where's that come from?
The way I came up with that was I remember in high school, I went to high school in South Carolina, in the state of South Carolina, and I had 4 offers coming out my junior year. And then my family kind of relocated to Louisiana, and things got shaky in the recruiting process. A lot of teams just stopped recruiting me and stuff. And then I just remember, like, man, I gotta find a way to get these coaches to like me. So I remember going on Twitter when I moved down to Louisiana, going on Twitter and just DMing and atting coaches and liking their notifications. I actually turned my notifications on for certain coaches from all schools around the state of Louisiana, like the Texas area with Baylor, Texas A&M, Texas, TCU, Oklahoma, all those coaches. I was following them so they can get my attention and watch my highlights. And I just remember turning on my notifications. So every time they would get on Twitter or like a tweet or something, I will follow them and blow their notifications up until they follow me. And when they follow me, I just DM them, show them my highlight, and then they started responding back. And then my older brother Sergio, he just took it upon himself to start. We started going on road trips. We drove endless of hours just to schools just to try to get me an offer and get my name exposed. And that's what we did. It was just whatever it took just to get me out there, get me in front of these coaches, and just get me where I am today. So that's how that came about.
That's really resourceful, especially for a kid. I mean, you're still really young, you know what I mean? But and I think that, you know, some of our listeners and viewers are obviously around your age, and some people that are, you know, 30 somethings understand how all this works. But you have grown up in an era where recruiting is a very different tool. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who works at 247 Sports, and he oversees their recruiting stuff. And I once asked him about, you know, following recruits and stuff. And he said, our motto is follow the follows, right? Like, we want to see who these recruits are following so we can kind of figure out who they're going to commit to, whatever the case may be. I think that's awesome, dude, that you were like, so you had notifications set. And I think, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but so you could be the first guy to get back in there. Like, you want to be the first dude in their mentions. You want to be the name. And like, I think that's, I mean, it worked. Like, look where you are. Like, it worked. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, it was kind of embarrassing, but I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, because I was under their comments. Like, you can if you even scroll down to like my old messages on Twitter, you'll see me. But I was just under their comments, under their likes, just trying to get their attention. And it was just a blessing, you know, because I felt like I was one of the best in the country. But you got to get their attention somehow, and that was just my way of just blowing them up. And I just remember a lot of coaches just reaching out to me, and then the offers start piling in.
Man, dude, that is so cool that, you know, you found a way. And a lot of people, I think, understand that. Like you're saying, you moved, and like that had to be a hard thing to deal with, right? Because you probably felt, you know, before the move, like everything's lining up the way I want it to. Exactly. And now we're moving. And so how do I deal with this? And so and I mean, you know, that's a really awesome story, man. And I think that, you know, seeing you make it to the NFL, it's just so cool. And I know the work's only beginning, obviously. And that is just really cool. So I want to make sure I'm right here. The website that I have found for you is izzymukuamu.com. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It is. Yes, sir. That's my website.
And so that's the other thing. You have a website. Like, you seem really, you know, I'll use that word again. You seem really resourceful and really aware of the times we live in. And I'm looking, you do have a shop for this stuff, you know, this, whatever it takes, you know, mantra, and obviously some other things that you have here. That's really cool, man. I think that you have really identified the era you live in and done it in a really smart way. Not a lot of people are able to pull that off.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely got to give a shout out to my agent, Selwyn Roberts. He the one that, set all that up. You know, he helped me out, and I'm just blessed to have him as an agent. I mean, he works very hard, and he was the one to come up with my logo. And we sat in the living room countless of hours just trying to figure everything out. And it was touching just because, you know, all the work I put in is starting to come alive. So I'm proud of that, and I thank him for that.
So, like I said, I know everything's just starting, but do you feel a sense of relief now that it's over? Now, you know, like, now you have answers, right? Now you know, okay, I'm a Cowboy, you know, my college teammates are going here, everybody, you know, good luck, whatever. You can start looking for an apartment, you know what I mean? Like, does it feel nice to kind of be able to start making decisions when everything's been in limbo so far for you?
I would say it's a little bit of relief, but, you know, I still got the chip on my shoulder. You know, I'm really just excited to just go out there and play football and compete and just prove myself. You know, it's been a lot going through my mind right now, but the only thing I've been thinking about is just going out there and just proving that, you know, no matter where I got drafted, I belong here. You know, like no matter wherever I got drafted, I feel like I belong here. I still feel like I'm one of the top DBs in this class, and only time will show. So I definitely got a chip on my shoulder. I mean, it's a little bit of relief, but now I'm ready to hit the gas, all brakes.
All right. So 3 quick ones for you, just so people can kind of get to know your personality. Number 1, LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
Really? That's another thing. That's another thing part of your age, but you'll die on this hill though, apparently.
Yeah, I love LeBron. Been watching him ever since I grew up, so I'm a LeBron fan for sure.
Okay. So obviously the last year and change of our lives have been very different. What's something you watched on Netflix or a book you read, just something that, you know, in all this time where we've all been doing stuff that you would recommend, a show or a movie that you really enjoyed?
I'll probably say Last Chance U.
The football show, the
football, and then the basketball came out, and that was pretty good too. So I definitely like both of those shows.
Okay, all right. That's is that your thing? You just want to watch more sports things? You don't want to watch anything else?
Sometimes, but you know, I just love being around sports. You know, that's what I like to do.
Okay, last thing. Your favorite type of music, like some artists you like, you know, what would your ideal, you're warming up for a game, what's your go-to song to put on your playlist?
I'm gonna definitely put on some Lil Baby. I'm just gonna go to Apple Music, and then I'm just gonna hit shuffle on Lil Baby, and he gonna get me right every time.
Israel Mukuamu, man, it's been so cool getting to know you. I know our readers and our listeners and our watchers are just going to really enjoy it. Congratulations, man. A life's work, you know, obviously has gone into this, and now a whole new life begins for you. Very exciting. Thanks so much for letting us get to know you. Really appreciate it. And we'll all be rooting you on. If you can, wear 24. That's my own personal recommendation. That's a great number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for having me.